Hi, Anthony Moore's Training Academy. Today we're going to be talking about sword canes. Now, carrying a sword cane, depending on where you're at, a lot of places are illegal. So make sure you check where you live and see if they are legal to carry. The one today is a custom made. It's got a stag handle. It's got a German blade, and which is not for cutting. There's no edges here. It's mainly for thrusting. Now, if you're going to be carrying a cane sword, there's going to be a lot of dimensions that you can carry. Some of them have little short blades, okay, just for self-defense. A lot of them do have the full blade in it, like this one does. Now, the technical part of this is if I'm going to be carrying and if I'm going to be walking around with a cane sword like this, if any problems start, I'm going to hook this under my arm right here. Okay, and hooking it under my arm, I just tuck it under. So if it's here, I just tuck it underneath the arm. Now, what happens is if this is the person's body, okay, this is going to go one here. This is going to go for the insert. If it comes down to when you need that much force, and if, you know, just because I place the blade against the throat or the chest doesn't mean that I'm going to insert it. So when this is stuck under my arm, this is the hit, okay? That's just a straight hit. You can get distance. If you've ever been hit by one of these, it sets you back depending on how hard you hit and where you hit. If you hit in the solar plex, a lot of times the guy's going to double over. Now, so as this comes out, that gives me clearance so that the blade can be presented here. Now, presenting the blade gives a few more options if you want to dispatch. That's going to be, you know, something that I wouldn't recommend, but it shows that you're serious. But you know, and a lot of times, you know, the turn of the century when they carried these, a lot of places they didn't have guns, okay, and they couldn't carry guns, so they carried, you know, sword canes, and they work good. This one here has a little tip here, so if I hit, it's going to make a really nice mark. Now, you can hit anywhere. You could hit on the arms. You could hit anywhere. But for just a simple practice, this comes out, this hits. The blade comes up, and it's ready to insert or to keep them away. Now, I'm going to always move towards keeping them away more so than inserting the blade. Now, this is kind of cruel, but it's very functional. And when I say it's cruel, but functional, C. Joe James Mile told me once that when he was training under Bruce Lee, that Bruce Lee carried this little horse whip around with him. And it's just a little small one, about this big. And C. Joe said that Bruce used to always, if their tonsile wasn't proper, or if their thumb wasn't proper, Bruce would walk up with that little horse whip and he would hit their thumb. Or if their back leg wasn't right, he would hit them with that little switch. And Joe says, you know, sometimes he says, I wanted to try to find that, but Bruce always hit it. And he says he wouldn't like to find it and break it, but he says Bruce always hit it somewhere where they couldn't find it. But anyway, so along with that, if I move in here and I hit here, now you see this tip, okay? This is spring steel, okay? So it's gonna leave a little bit of a mark if I pop that, okay? So as I if I can get this back in here right, as I pull this out and I hit here, now I can go here and I can hit that hit here, okay? I don't have to insert. But it's kind of cruel because it will leave a mark. But if you don't want to have to, you know, cut them up, just think of it as a switch. Now imagine this hitting the back of the legs, which I'm very familiar with. That's kind of how I grew up. My father was when I got in trouble, I'd always have to, he'd say, go out and cut me a switch. And, you know, but that was back when, you know, my dad was very traditional on how he thought and how he did. And, you know, it left some marks, no lasting marks, you know, hurt my feelings and hurt my pride. But, so just keep that in mind. I'm some position here, okay? Sword comes out and hits, and now I can hit here and just make a mark, or I can place it here against the throat, okay? Just some things that, if you guys are training, if you're playing around, you know, sword canes are really cool. I like them. There's a whole bunch of different selections on them. Like I said, this one's cool because it has the stag handle, and it does have the German blade. But so anyway, another little bit of history on weapons, how to use it and how to apply it. Okay, thank you guys, and continue to subscribe to our channel. See you tomorrow.